Going to be so much fun. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Self-Love Talks. And before I get started, just check in the chat there, because I've just posted a very important email address that you are going to want to hold on to and have. So make sure whenever you're joining this video, whether it's live right now, hi, people are starting to join live, hi, put your name, say where you're from so I can see you or see your name and say hi. Let us know where you are in the world as well, particularly on this video, because where you are in the world is going to count later on when we tell you about something really epic that's happening with my amazing guest today. And so all of you make sure that you check out the top of the chat here. I'll probably post it a few times. In fact, I'm going to bring it up on the screen right here. I think I'm going to leave it there.
Tara, take out the A.
Oh, did I type it wrong?
Yeah, you put BVA.
Right. Okay, Mike. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. So bear with me, everyone, because you're going to really want to have this, and I need it on the screen. Sherry at BVMHW.com. Thank you. There we go. I'm going to just leave it there. Yay! But I will take it down because I will want to see people's comments, because we've got hello from Wisconsin, USA, yep. Awesome. And Virginia, awesome. Okay, everybody else, when you arrive, let us know where you are. Portland, Oregon. So we got the US in the house.
Finally, yay!
This is what we want. And I'll tell you why in a bit.
It's meant to be.
It is meant to be, destiny. Let's just open right now, actually. Let's all of us just open and receive and welcome all the people that are destined to be here on this live with us this evening, or even watching the recorded version to see and hear this message. If it's for those souls, just want to open them up, welcome them in. Everybody just open your arms and say, welcome all the souls that are meant to be here, divinely guided. And this is your tribe, everybody. Those of you that are watching now, we're opening up to welcome in your tribe, because we're having a tribal gathering, a light warrior conference gathering in the US in 2022. And it's all down to this amazing woman that is with me tonight. Please welcome Dr. Sherry Haferkamp Watson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, and it's really good to see you. And you're glowing. You're looking really healthy, actually, and
thank
really,
you.
Really gorgeous.
Thank you.
Welcome,
thank you, Tara, for having me on here. I'm really glad to be here. There are some things that I do want to talk about. It's a little bit serious, and then moving into some things that are going to be happening, especially in the U.S., globally as well, but some things that will be going on next year. So I want to make sure that all of the healers out there know what's going on, because this really is a beacon, a call to action for you guys. But before I get into that, one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk to you about today, Tara, was my specialty here in the States is trauma. So, I am a clinical psychologist here in Texas, but today I really just want to talk person to person. I don't want to talk, I'm a psychologist or anything, but I just want to talk person to everybody that's out there, and the importance of, trauma, the impact that unhealed trauma has on our spirituality and our growth, and a little bit, of how things I feel have come to be in the global stage that we're seeing right now. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, so when you talk about trauma, a lot of times we think you go through something and then you just drive on. It doesn't impact you in the long run. We should just get over it. And it just doesn't always happen that way. So the message that I have, or for you guys that are listening, you don't have to be a therapist. You don't have to be a coach. You don't have to be, a quote unquote certified healer. This is for people that are gifted naturally. So when I say gifted naturally, it means that is it's an innate God-given trait that you have been bestowed with. And You could be an attorney, you can be an accountant, you could be a stay-at-home mom. You just instinctively know when someone is hurting, and you know what needs to be done to get them out of that place of negativity. So the message I have is for you guys. A lot of the healers, the true healers, have been hurt themselves. So, there's a term that we use, wounded healers, in my field. And it's those that have been through the mud and the muck and the trenches themselves, and they've figured out how to pull themselves out. And then they turn around and they help pull out other people. That works great if you've actually balanced yourself out internally. If you haven't, you can actually do more harm than good. And from a spiritual perspective, you can either bring people closer to God or further away. And so that's kind of what I was looking to talk to you tonight, Tara.
And it's so relevant as well, because I was literally, just before we hopped on here, I was recording a Divine Feminine Roundtable. And a lot of people that watch me already, they know that I'm part of that group of women. It's with Laura Eisenhower, with Magenta Pixie, and a bunch of other women, beautiful women. We just literally recorded a video. And it's like, we're talking how everybody is going through it right now. Mm-hmm. Nobody is exempt. I don't care if you're the Dalai Lama or, you're the most amazing enlightened master. Everybody is going through the same press right now. And it is everything that has traumatized us, and even not just our own trauma, is it, Sherry? It's the inherited trauma that we've got from our parents and our parents'
Yep.
parents, and that's epigenetic, and that's from our soul as well. So we got those avenues of our parents, mother, father, impact, and the ancestral lineage, and we also have our own soul lineage.
Exactly.
All of the traumas that have been built up that we have never been able to reconcile. They've been left in the unconscious. They've not been brought into consciousness and into wholeness with love. Ultimately, love as the healer, love as the reconciler. And anything that's not been resolved, all that trauma, it's in our face now. All of that conditioning, all of that trauma is in our face now. And we're all having to step up to the mark and deal with and heal our traumas, and heal the collective wounding, heal the collective trauma.
Exactly.
And so it's really vital that we all know how to do that. One, that we have the tools. Two, that we have the community and we're not alone. And three, that those who are then healing or leading others, that they're coming from a healed place and not a dysfunctional place.
Exactly. So if you're coming from a dysfunctional place, which is interesting that you talked about the family lineage, because if you actually do the research, it's out there. Your memories of your family, it's actually passed down. It's embedded in your DNA. And even if you don't believe that, you can still say, well, hey, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, hey, you take after your mother, you take after your father when you react like this or you think like that. So even if you don't believe in the genetic portion of it, you can still look, with just your normal eyesight and awareness and observation skills, and see certain coping skills or certain thought patterns that are passed down generationally. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And sometimes we're aware of our destructive tendencies, and sometimes we're not. But I agree with you, Tara. Everything's it feels like it's coming to a head. Like, it's kind of like a wine press. Everything's kind of pressing together and things are coming out. So, and the leaders have to step forward. Not everybody wants to be a leader, but, if you are a natural healer, like it's in you, I really feel like now is the time that you have to step forward. If you're a light bearer or a light warrior, you really need to step forward. Doing this podcast is very much out of my comfort zone. I'm used to sitting back, talking to people, helping people individually, and then to have to step forward, it's out of my comfort zone. But if you're feeling called to do it, and I feel like there is a calling, there is a pressure that, hey, now is the time to step forward and make things happen. So you're totally right on with that. If we don't resolve our traumas, you can actually do more harm than good. And I don't think that anybody that's listening to this podcast actually wants to do that. I think we're all here to help other people. So, it helps us on an individual level, and then also as the collective to clean up our own garbage of what's going on to the best of our ability.
And it's absolute necessity as well, I would say, because we've been around these karmic loops over and over again. Or even if you don't believe in karma, it doesn't have to be called karma. You can just look at history and go, we're repeating history again and again and again and again. And it's like, how much longer do we want to live in the dark ages where people are suffering and hurting and living with such a high degree of trauma and struggle and stress and mental stresses? Total dysfunction. People still don't know who they are or why they're here. There's such massive amount of illness, sickness of all different kinds, and destruction. And it's like, it's time to come out of the dark ages. And in order to come out of the dark ages, it means switching on your own inner light, and you responding to your own inner light, knowing what that is, recognizing it, and being in relationship, cognizant, conscious relationship with your own inner light. And like Sherry said, maybe you don't feel like you want to be a leader, or you don't know how to be a leader, or it's not your thing. But instead of being a sheep that follows other people's light, and that could be also fake light, and there's a lot of fake light out there. A lot of what's being called divinity is absolutely not. It's bullshit dressed up, let me tell you.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I totally agree with you. I was just telling, someone today, I said, there's a lot of healers out there, but there's a lot of hinderers. So you have light and you have dark, and, I had with a lot of my clients and a lot of the people that I work with, it's all about gaining that independence and that self-reliance on yourself. You have the ability to heal yourself. You are the expert of your own life. No one else is. I'm just coming in as a guide temporarily to basically fix your feathers, fix your wings, and send you on your way. You've got to go, you've got a mission, you've got a purpose, and our job is to get you there. But I recently had someone that went to a quote unquote psychic. She was totally doing fine, and when she got done with that psychic, she was questioning her own judgment. She was questioning her ability to think for herself, her ability to trust her feelings and her own intuition. That's a hinderer. Now, could that lady have been a healer? Maybe, but she's definitely a healer that has not resolved her own stuff. But from my standpoint, it's a hinderer. It's a false light. It's someone that's giving you false hope. But what they're doing is they're pulling you under and making you reliant on them. And that's not what we're here to do.
No, I really don't think anybody here, especially those watching this, should be anybody's sheep.
No.
Do not follow anybody else other than your own truth and your own light. And like Sherry was saying, only you be your own leader. You follow your own inner compass. And that way you can't go wrong, and you can only refine, even if it's a rusty compass or you're not used to it because you've been so led by others out there and you don't know, you're not practiced at it, at being your own self-sovereign, divine self-leader. Then it's something that the more you practice, the better you get at it. And we're all still practicing. There's no 10 out of 10 perfect. It's constant practice. But when you meet somebody who's doing a really good job because their light is shining and things will tend to work out in their life for them, and and you feel good in their energy, right? So hang out with people who are with humility, and you can learn from each other then.
Yeah, and thing is, if you want to see where you are as far as your own inner compass, what I have a lot of people do is write down, how do I see myself? How do I see, myself as a whole? How do I see my ability to accomplish certain goals? What are my dreams? If you can write that down, you're going to start seeing those negative beliefs pop up. And those are areas of growth. Those are lies that you've accepted as your truth. And how do you know that they're lies? Because they make you feel like crap.
Yes, that is so true. If it doesn't feel good, if it feels off, it is off. It's not true. If it feels true, if it feels good, it is good. It's literally that simple. It's like, how do I feel right now? Kind of good or kind of not good? And if you don't feel kind of good, whatever you're listening to it's exactly that much off the truth. It's not true. If you feel a little bit off, it's a little bit off truth. If you feel a lot off, it's a lot. It's the opposite to truth. It's a lot. And when it starts to be like, bing, 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 bang, that's that good feeling. That's truth. That's your norm.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people, I always say children are sponges. That's why what's ever going on in this current arena, it's to, protect the children. The children are sponges. They're going to absorb what's going on around them. And unfortunately, a lot of children grow up in these homes that are dysfunctional. About 80% of us grow up in some sort of dysfunction within our homes, and we absorb those belief systems. And so we wonder why, for instance, you can look at a mother and a father, and you can look at how they interact with their child. And unfortunately, I know I can see it. I'm sure you can too, Tara. You can look at someone and say, well, I know where that kid's headed. If they take the time and believe what that person's telling them. So you're either going to clip their wings or you're going to teach them how to fly. And a lot of us right now as adults, especially in the last 1.5 to 2 years, a lot of us have been searching and trying to figure out what's going on here. And we're trying to figure out how to, navigate what's going on currently. And in doing that, we're having to address these beliefs. We're having to address how we see ourselves, how we see other people around us, how we see the world. And that's where the challenge is.
And we have to heal our own inner child first if we even stand a chance of creating a better life for other children.
Exactly.
So a child will hurt another child.
Oh, yeah.
If we keep hurting inner child, we're just going to hurt the children around us, even with the best intention in the world, inadvertently, because we redo what's been done to us.
Exactly.
We must really heal our own inner child, who therefore then serve the children, protect the children, and create a better earth for them. There's a question here. Sherry, I just popped up with this question from Keisha Platoon. She's asking, do you think that the healers are aware that if they have not dealt with their own trauma or issues, that they should be cautious of guiding others?
I think some people are aware of that, but I think a lot of the ones that have not started working on their stuff are not aware of it. For instance, I've had clients come to see me where they go to someone and maybe they had an argument with their boyfriend. And the person says, well, you know what you need to do? I can already tell you where that's going. This relationship is not meant to be. It's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Time out. That's not you. That's their own experiences coming through. That's their own gunk that they haven't processed through. If they had processed through it, they would listen and say, okay, well, I went through something similar, but my experience is a little bit obviously unique and yours is unique. What are your options? What do you think you're going to do? And you allow that person free will to explore. Whereas most healers, and I don't want to say most, some healers are not aware of that. They just start offering their opinions. And in doing that, you're pressing control. You're putting your control and you're inflicting your will onto somebody else. And how do we know that? Because the person is not thankful for the advice. They feel pressured. They feel pushed down. They feel negative towards whatever the situation is. There's not hope. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense to me. Basically, avoid people that are ego dumping on you.
Yeah.
If you feel able to feel safe and open and relaxed, and it's all about trusting yourself and connecting back with yourself in a really genuine way, then you're onto something that's real. You're onto somebody that's really able to help you. And there are a lot of good ones out there. However, I think we're all there's always varying degrees, isn't there? I think we're always attracted, Sherry, to what we're most ready for. And if we keep getting attracted to people that are really not serving us and serving themselves, then it's like, okay, what's going on there with our own self-destruction?
Yeah. So I was going to say, so just like the lady that went to go see the psychic, that was not really in her highest good. What was that underlying belief system? why go there in the first place? She didn't trust herself. So the belief was, I can't trust myself. And so even though she was doing really well, you still had that underlying belief system. Now, do I believe people are intuitive? Yes, I think we're all intuitive. But she allowed herself to be pressured to go to this person through a referral from somebody else that she knew. Again, not standing firm in her own truth.
I think there's ways and means of doing psychic readings too, because I myself actually do psychic readings.
Mm-hmm.
But I always say to them right at the beginning, I'm not here to fill your head with a whole bunch of stuff. And then you go out of this reading going, is that true? Isn't it true? Do I believe myself? Do I believe Tara? The way that I do it is not about that. It's done in a completely different way that's actually really empowering to the person having the reading, so that they're, if anything, it's about them trusting their own intuition. And I think whenever you have somebody guiding you who's pointing the way back to you, back to yourself, that's useful. If it's useful and it hits and it rings true, and
Yep.
always listen to what rings true. Now,
Exactly.
Sherry, I know that you've been getting some guidance.
Yes.
Haven't you? You've been getting some quite extraordinary guidance for somebody who's not at all, or wouldn't consider herself psychic, or
No, I mean, I consider myself having like good gut intuition, but that's about it. So this realm is, I don't want to say it's new to me, but it's something that I have avoided. So how I grew up, it's, you don't go into this realm. This is, I'm very much from a very German family where, it's science, very much in the box. And so I would say probably about 1.5 years ago, I started having, dreams. And I'm pretty good at analyzing dreams. So I'm trying to analyze these dreams. They're not making any sense. They feel like normal conversations. Well, okay, I'll put it to the side, put it to the side, put it to the side. And I'm really good at ignoring things that you can't necessarily explain. And so I was driving in, and, I have about an 1 hour and 10-minute commute to get to my office. So I'm driving in, and I started thinking about, the light workers, the light bearers, what does all this mean? Because I was searching too, just like everybody else. I was searching too. And unfortunately, I would start listening to someone on a podcast or a YouTube video, or I'd look at their website and I'd start looking at them like, sounds good. And then I would see them derail and I go, oh gosh, okay, they're not where they need to be. And so I would discount them. But I was driving into work and I was thinking, okay, there's a lot of people just like me. How do I know this? Because they were coming into my office. They're normal people and colleagues coming to me, talking to me, saying, I've been having weird dreams. I've been having weird experiences. I've been having, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're all normal. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? Not saying, Tara, that you guys are abnormal, but, we consider ourselves very even keel. And we're thinking, what is going on here? We can't explain this. And what was impressed upon me just out of the blue was there are light workers out there. And they need to unify. They need to come together. Find the leaders that want to lead and are willing to lead the light workers, the true healers, the true light workers. And so I'm driving. I'm like, okay, God, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. Okay. And I get to work and I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, how will I make that happen? And I just happened to Jen McCarty. I think you guys are friends. She had posted something and I had just recently joined her little thing because she'll give little quotes and I'm like, oh, that might help some of my clients. Oh, this is great and everything. And she was looking for something and I was like, I might be able to help her with that. And we just started talking. And as we were talking, something was like, you know what? Stick with her and see what she's about. And as soon as I got off the phone, I started, thinking about ways that I could help her, with a project she was working on. And all of a sudden it was like, you're going to do a conference. You need to do a conference and bring the leaders together. And so I pushed it aside like I normally do. I pushed it aside, okay, God, you can inspire me, but don't inspire me to do work, So I pushed it aside and it just kept coming back at the back of my head. I would just be doing random stuff and the idea would come back again. So I thought, okay, I'll present it to my business administrator and see what she thinks about it. It'll probably get shot down for one reason or another. So I pulled her in and I was talking to her about it. And I said, I just feel like I'm supposed to bring the healers together and unite them and do some sort of conference. And she's like, well, she said, me personally, she said, I think God's telling you something. We need to make it happen. So here we are. Planning a conference actually for next summer. And usually when, you have conferences, speakers will apply and everything like that. I've actually went out and sought out speakers. So I started interviewing. There's only one person that I still need to talk to. But I went out and I found the leaders. I found the alphas, which to bring, if anybody knows anything about people with type A personalities, they're very strong-headed, they're leaders, and I'm here trying to pull them in and everything. And it can be a challenge. It's a good challenge, but we're bringing them together and I'm telling them their mission. And their mission is, this is not a conference like any other conference. This is a conference. It's almost like a beacon. It's a calling for the true healers to come and actually get to know your tribe leader. So we've got, like, Tara has agreed to come on board. So I'm going to use you as an example. Unlike other conferences that you might go to where you don't get to interact with the speaker, then they might sign a book and then it's like, hi, bye, see you later, maybe next year. That's not what these speakers are doing. I am challenging them to put out new material. I know, Tara, you were going to do a training. She pulled it to refine it and fine tune it so that we can offer tools. So we're presenting them as speakers and leaders to you guys, but they're actually being placed in the role of servant. So they are putting themselves in the ultimate role of service to others, and the others is you, the leaders. You guys are the leaders. You guys are the ones that are the light warriors and the light bearers in your community. So we're trying to present a unified front where you guys can all come together and get the tools you need to go back into your communities and fulfill your mission. That's what we're trying to do. And these speakers, it's not like the speakers will change year in and year out. They're solid. So the people that I've sought out, they have agreed to stand long term and be that mentor, be that teacher. And what you guys need, if you say, hey, I need training in this, they're going to do the research. They're going to do all that back end work. They're going to put this together, give you the training, and then you get right back out into the field and you do what you're supposed to do. So, I know one of the speakers, he's waking up at 4:00 in the morning and working until 9:00 at night to get things ready for his audience. And the speakers are also being encouraged to learn the message of the other speakers because you don't know what could happen. They have to know we are a unified front. We need to know what everybody stands for and what we're doing so that we can go out there. And let's say someone were to come to me. I'm one of the speakers, but, let's just say someone comes to me and they have a question. They're like, I want to get certified to do this, this, and this, or I feel like my calling is to do this and this. I don't do that, but I know Tara does it. I know Jen does it. I know Rick does it. I know that these individuals do it. Let me put you in contact. So that's what we're pretty much doing, Tara, is we are doing a conference next year in Bastrop, Texas. So down in Texas, to bring in the speakers so that they can align with you guys and let that energy fill the room and give you the tools you guys need to fight the battles you have coming your way.
Mm-hmm. Tell everybody the name of the conference.
Oh, okay. So it's called International Warriors of Light. So we do have a website. The website is a work in progress, but it's internationalwarriorsoflight.com. We also have a Facebook page, International Warriors of Light. So you can go on there, like the page and everything. But yeah, you can actually purchase tickets now if you want to. So there's limited space in person, and then you can also purchase tickets online as well.
Right. I am posting this so that everyone can see it, internationalwarriorsoflight.com. Please go to the website and check it out. And I have to say, Sherry, I was absolutely delighted to be invited by you. And it was through Jen. Actually, she connected us. So thank you, Jen. And I could just feel it, and I've spoken at conferences before, and I've flown to various places and spoken at conferences. And it's always a pleasure to be asked. It really is always an honor. But I just got stupid excited when your one came through. International Warriors of Light in Texas. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeehaw, right?
Well, it meant something to me personally about going to Texas, because I'll just tell the viewers real quick. Back in 1973, when I was a little 11-month-old baby, 10, 11 months old baby, and I actually have a photograph of this as well. My parents were following, they were devotees to an enlightened master called Guru Maharaji, who's also known as Prem Rawat. That's his actual name, and he still speaks all over the world. And he did a marking the beginning of the Age of Aquarius event in the Astrodome in Texas. And it was just full of all these devotees, and it was all about love and self-knowledge, and to look inside the heart, that the answers to everything that you're looking for is inside of you and is inside of your heart. And this master was amazing. He was only about, I think, 15 at the time when he gave this event in the Astrodome. And my parents were there and I was there. And it was like, wow. And all these years later, I get to go back to Texas and speak at an event about this great awakening, about the light, and sharing the tools that I've picked up along my life, because I still use the tools that I got from this enlightened master I grew up with. And yet for me, I needed something. I mean, it is incredibly practical, let me tell you, but I felt like I needed a bridge from the divine world within inside of me, which I can go in and meditate and connect to the divine. But when I came out into this world, my life was crazy, and I was sick, and everything was, I didn't want to be here. There was too much. And I needed a bridge from the divine to the human, so that I could connect. So it wasn't distinctly different. So that there was this spiritual life inside of me, and then my human life, which was just a car wreck. And I needed a bridge between the two, so that I could bring divinity into the human and be very human in my divine. And and so that's what spurred me on to go through in my life and go, how can I make this so practical? What can I do? And as I learned to love and serve myself and use this tool, that's how I now love and serve others, is by sharing this tool of that bridge, connecting the divine self to the human self.
And that's the thing with the conference. It won't be, it's going to be a feel good conference. Because we want everyone to be happy, but it's where the healers come together. And again, you don't have to be a therapist. The true healers, we're calling the true healers, to come together and get the tools, because the people that you're helping, because of their traumas, they may have a hard time connecting to the divine. They may have a hard time connecting to that spirituality. So it's imperative that you clean your inner house so that you can serve as that light post, that lighthouse, to help them on their journey, clean up their stuff. So it really is, if you went through the trenches and you got out of the trenches, it really is you washing the mud off and then turning around and helping the next person up. And that's what this conference is about. I've searched hard to find these guys, and they're busy, they're all over the place, so tracking them down and really researching their materials, like I feel like I've done due diligence and bringing mind, body, soul together. We've got one guy coming, Dr. Mark Merriweather. He deals with like plant medicine. And he was like, what is a light warrior? I don't know what that is. And then after I explained to him, hey, this is what we're trying to do. You've got God-given talents and we're trying to make the world a better place. We need your tools. We need your gifts to help people learn how to eat healthier so that, their bodies are functioning better. If your body's functioning better, your mind's going to function better. And then, of course, he's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. So, I've worked really hard to bring these people for you guys. And the speakers are working really hard right now for the healers. I've got one lady out in California. She's had 3 books just kind of sitting there willy-nilly and stuff for about 20 some odd years. I'm like, no, dust them off. You need to write a book. Give these guys something that when you guys go back home, if they need a reference, they can reference it. And even at the conference, it's not just, Tara comes in, does her speech, and bye. There's going to be opportunities if you want to do a hike with Tara, or preferably in the morning because it's going to be really, really hot, or a morning meditation or something. You will get to actually experience in person, and she gets to know you because you're her tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You guys align with her message.
Yeah. We're doing workshops too, aren't we, Sherry? It's not just a talk.
Yes.
It's actually, there's content there, there's learning. And that's really, really fun for someone like myself as a speaker to hang out with our tribe in person, in real life. Because you guys, I know your names when you join, and I recognize a lot of you, and a lot of you send me messages and stuff. But to actually hang out in real life. And that's when our energies, when we put our energy fields together and our hearts together and our beautiful, clear minds together, we massively, massively amplify. And then, of course, it's not just, people who resonate with my message. It's we all resonate in this collective, all the different facets of this one message, this unified field of consciousness, mind, body, spirit, soul, the whole lot, and all this healing. Think of all the amazing people you're going to meet for a start. Think of the new information, the new things you're going to learn, and what you're going to tap into in yourself, and what's going to open up in that environment, because we'll be exponentially affecting one another. We'll just be popping open. And Sherry, when you talk about being in the mud, I love the analogy of the lotus, because every single lotus emerges through the mud.
Yep.
And that's where every lotus is anchored from. They come from the mud, and they're rooted and anchored in the mud, and then rise above the dirty water and are the most incredibly, exquisitely beautiful things ever. And that's us. That's our human and divine.
I think that's what we're on a mission to do. I mean, if we want to stop the traumas, we could go in all day long of the different types of traumas and everything. But if we want to stop it, if we want to stop this in its tracks, we have to take a stand. A colleague of mine sent me an article this past week, and it was talking about mass hypnosis, which, mass hypnosis, just a little background, mass hypnosis is basically where the majority of society accepts a narrative. It doesn't have to be in fact, it doesn't have to have any truth whatsoever to it. They're just accepting it as is. And this article gave some statistics that said about 30% of the society is usually entirely hypnotized, meaning they buy it hook, line, and sinker. There's nothing you can do to convince them otherwise. The other 40% goes with the flow, because there's no other alternatives. They don't, if they don't go with the flow, then you start getting pressure tactics, do this or else, or if you don't act a certain way, then you're labeled a certain, type of person and everything. So 40% will just go with the majority opinion. And then the last 30% are the ones that are not hypnotized. They don't buy it. They're not, they're just not gonna adhere to that agenda. The problem with that last 30%, which I think your podcast, your listeners are in that last 30%, is that they're heterogeneous. So they come from all different walks of life, and they're not unified. And one of the things the author said, and I'll put it in, quotes, is he said, if that last 30% would become unified, the whole narrative would end. So whatever negativity is being forced upon us and we're having to accept it, it would end, because when you unify and you start, projecting an alternative argument, that 40% that just goes with the flow starts listening to the alternative argument, and you're going to start swaying the numbers.
Massively.
So that's why this conference is so important. And I didn't know it then. I was just like, oh, okay, let's just have a conference. Push it aside, not going to pay attention to it. But I just kept feeling that internal pressure. No, this is what you need to do. No, this is what you need to do. And the older I get, the more I'm just going to go with it. Make my life easier. I'm just going to go with it. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to unify the light workers, the light bearers, because you are the beacon of the light for your community, not Tara. Tara is the beacon of light for you guys to give you the tools. She is not the leader in your community. You are. Mm-hmm. So there's that distinction. So I found the speakers that love teaching. They love to teach. They love to write. They love to mentor. Those are the people that, they've got stuff to offer and they can guide you. But I think the true light warriors are the ones that are on the ground, day-to-day living and everything. And Tar, you're a warrior too. But you know what I'm trying to say is that on a day-to-day basis, on the ground, in the community, in your homes, we need people where you learn those skills, you clean your house, you recognize your belief systems that are holding you back, you recognize the dysfunction that have been passed down through the generations, you recognize all that stuff, you get it cleaned up, because now is the time. If it's never been the time, now is the time. And I really feel there's this pressure that I feel that we need to get as many people healed as possible and stop this madness that's happening. And how do we know that it's happening? You can go onto a government website, and they're taking bids right now for contracts through the federal government. You just go online, look for it. Human trafficking. If we didn't have a problem, why would that contract be up there? It should never be up there because we don't want it to exist. And the only way that's not going to exist is if the true light workers and the true light warriors, step forward and say, enough, we've had enough. That's all I have to say on that.
I believe that's all I have to say. Drops mic. Yeah. I know that the most powerful thing any one person can do. So all of you are out there listening. And by the way, I love you and thank you so much for listening and being on this video with us. But the most powerful thing, one thing that any one person can do is to clean their own home.
Yes.
Because if each of us have a messy house, then we have a messy world. And you clean up the houses and you clean up the world. And once you know how to clean your own house, then you're an inspiration to your neighbor to clean their house. And you're an inspiration to your kids. And actually, when you clean your house, your kids' house is less messy.
Because they're a sponge. They're a sponge. They're absorbing everything.
Right? And as were all of us as little kids. We were sponges. We absorbed all the unseen, all the unspoken, everything, all the felt stuff that was not spoken about or that was not even felt. We're super empathic little sponges. We're so pure. We suck up everything. And then that's just been sitting there rotting, not knowing what to do. And it's, actually, this is a really cool exercise. Everybody just close your eyes for a moment and just really take a deep breath, like a big, deep sighing breath. And just do a few so that you really just go into a nice clear space. And imagine you're going to go and meet yourself. And you're going to walk up to yourself, but how you see yourself is a house. You see your body as a building, as a house. What would it look like? What's the state of the roof? What's the state of the walls? What's the state of the foundations underneath that house? What is the life of you built on? Fear, love, kindness, suppression. What does the garden gate look like? What does the garden look like? What do the walls look like underneath all the plaster? What do the rooms look like inside? What state are the floors in? And just get a glimpse and go, what if that's your state? Your subconscious beneath the surface state. And internally you're cracking up, but you're like veneer over the surface. No, everything's fine. None of us can sustain that veneer anymore. the great awakening in this world is such that everything is awakened. The shutters are open, the curtains are open, the veneer is off, the masks are off, not on, people. Masks are off. Anybody still clinging to an identity of themselves or trying to look like it's all together and wearing masks at this point, it's like you're really on a losing battle. You have to unmask. You have to come clean with yourself. It's the hardest place. We go everywhere else, don't we? Telling everybody else what to do and how they should live and organizing and bossing and managing everybody. Come back to the self. Check in with your own state of being, true state of being. Blinkers off, masks off, be honest. Heal this. Heal your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul. Get clear in your own house so that your spirit can dwell in it. And when we do, and there's a lot of old junk to chuck out that's not ours too. It's not all your junk. It's inherited stuff. It's a lot of junk from other generations. It needs cleaning out. A lot of beliefs and shoulds and put downs that have been put on us and judgments. A lot of false concepts, a lot of false ideologies, a lot of false spiritual beliefs that have suppressed us. All of that junk is like old furniture, someone else's shit that just needs throwing out of your house. Give it back to the dump, let it like decompose, give it back to source, give it back to love, and come clean with ourselves. Because when we do, and when you sit fully in your soul, in your spirit, in your house, in this body, you are enlightening. You are going through a transformation like a caterpillar to a butterfly. And be prepared to let all your old stuff go and to almost have like an identity crisis death experience, because you're going to have a rebirth. And every single person is going to experience this, whether they like it or not, whether you go with it or go against it, it's going to happen. So you may as well go with it and say, okay, get naked, masks off, get honest, get real, let's get healed. And let's be really true to ourselves and be in your light. And that is the work of the angels. That's the work of the warriors. That's the work of the true human being on this planet. That's the work of the leaders. So every single person that does that, the rewards are you can't even imagine.
Exactly.
It's beyond material. It's beyond this life, the rewards for that. And it's the most powerful work that any single one of us can do on this planet, is to really love ourselves or face ourselves and heal ourselves. And that's why Sherry, with all her guidance and intuition and everything, and you've got some far out stories. I'd love you to share those. But just before you do, everybody that's watching this, everyone that's finding out about Sherry and about the International Warriors of Light Conference from listening to this podcast with me, I've put the email address right here so you can't miss it. Sherry@bvmhw.com.
Yes.
If you would like to get $100 off your ticket, and right now it's early bird.
It's early bird.
It's super early bird, right?
Yes, it's super early bird. So, you get $100 off. Our whole mission is to get, like, Tara, to get the people, your tribe, to get to you.
I want that.
I mean, it's almost what I envision this conference being. It's almost like a family reunion, where once a year, all the healers come together and like, hey, I recognize you from last year. Hey, I recognize you from the year before. You were in that workshop with me. Get us together and again, recenter ourselves, during that little short time frame, and then you get back out there. Yeah. But it doesn't end. The guidance doesn't end when the conference ends. These speakers, these leaders are still there for the leaders, which is you guys. They're still there throughout the whole year, because they're not going away. That was one of the things that, they had to make that commitment that they're not willing just to, I'll just speak this year and we'll see what I'm doing. Like, no, they're there for the long haul. So Tara's one of the ones that's there for the long haul. Our mission it's bigger than just a regular conference. It's bigger than,
it's like a family gathering, a soul gathering.
It really is. It really is. And so, so all you guys have to do is just email me and say, hey, I saw you on, or you give a password, Tara Love, you get $100 off. If you need payment plans, just email me. I mean, we've got enough time out that you can break it up. The whole goal is to get you there, get you there in person so that you can spend time with Tara. We're even going to have a VIP dinner, which actually is just, if Texas style, it's basically, anybody will tell you, we're going to have dancing, whatever. It's really just, everybody getting together. We're not limiting it per se. The place can hold, I want to say 700 people. 700 people can come to this dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? It needs to have that family feel. And that's what we're going for, because this is your family, Tara. These people are your family. Even though, one lady was in Wisconsin, another in Oregon and everything. I can't see who they are. You can see who they are. One was from Virginia. They need to come down here. Come on down to Texas. We don't have any mask mandates or anything like that. We'll work with you. You're safe in Texas. And let's just make this happen.
So everyone now who's watching, if you're in the US or you're prepared to come to the US, because it's like a 3 or 4 day event. It's a long one.
It's August 11th through the 14th. So we're planning on having our dinner, and this could change. We're planning on have our dinner celebration kickoff, dance, whatever, Thursday night, which is August 11th. And then we're going to have speakers all the way up through Sunday.
Let me know if you're in the US or you want to come to the US for this, because I don't live in the US. I'm in France. I'm so going. Whatever it takes. And we're going to go and be there together. So if you're in the US, just put your name in here, or if you want to come, just shout out in the comments. And even if you're watching the replay, please do that as well, because we want to see. I always look at the comments and I can see where you're from, and I can be like, yeah, we're going to meet you.
And even if you're part of Tara's tribe and you can't fly to the United States for whatever reason, say you're in France or you're in Germany, we're still going to do it online, so you can still get $100 off that online ticket.
It's actually so cool, because whether they get the early bird or the regular or the VIP or the online, because you've got different versions for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how much input you want. If you just want to sit there and have the experience, and there's the online version. If you want to get involved and then come to the workshops and do the hiking and do the meditations and stuff with myself and all the other guys, because it's also who you meet there. Mm-hmm. You can meet your new best friend or your new business partner or your new love of your life, or you're just going to be with your soul family. You just don't know what's going to happen, and that's the magic, isn't it, of being there live. So whether you want that engagement, or whether you go for the VIP where you want the extra special stuff and the special dinner and just be fully in, whichever one you choose, you're still going to get $100 off. Yes. Just because you said that you saw Sherry on my show on Self-Love Talks with me.
Yeah. It's just a matter, it's all about just getting you guys together. It's about unifying. We need to get unified. I used to work in the prison system, and sometimes the dark side is more organized than the light. I think so. And so, and they just are. They've got their systems down and everything, and it's just like that article. We're scattered. So even when I was trying to get the speakers together, and I told them, I said, I see a light bulb over here and a light over here and a light over here and a light over here. Do you guys know each other? No. A few might know here and there because they're in close proximity, but they don't have any connection to the other light workers. And that's what we need. We need connections. We need to all be connected.
Okay. So email Sherry. You can even start right now. Just ping her a message and go, yes, I want to come. Sherry will sort you out personally, because you can go to the website and you can book the ticket. You can look on Eventbrite. It's on there. International Warriors of Light Conference. You can go check it out on Eventbrite. You can go to your website, which I had up a minute ago, or just internationalwarriorsoflight.com. Mm-hmm. But Sherry so kindly, as if you've got all the time in the world for people to email you personally. You are actually so loving and willing to get personal emails from everybody and personally sort them out with this discount, which is exceptional. I mean,
yeah, and I'll answer any questions. So, I mean, this is very, I wish I could explain the importance that I'm feeling internally, that this is very, very, very important on a global level, that we come together and you guys get the tools that you need. Even if you just come to the conference and you don't buy a book or do a workshop, you just come there, there's tools that you can gather that I feel like you guys need. And I feel it, I can't explain it, but I feel like there is a huge importance that the light workers need to be unified and come together. I can't explain it any other way than that. So this was not in my business plan. So just so you guys know, I have a business plan. This is not part of the business plan, never was part of the business plan to do a conference ever. But we're making it happen. And we're doing it because I feel like something really big's going to come from this.
And there you were, just sitting in your office.
Yes.
You've got a mental health wellness center.
Yes.
And you work with a bunch of others.
I specialize in trauma. So I work with those clients that have been traumatized. And, you know, I decided to expand and bring on other therapists because my mission is to help as many people in this world as possible. And you can't do it being a one-person show. You just can't. So I'm bringing in like-minded people, and we're all trying to row in the same direction. And this conference is just another way of bringing in more like-minded people and giving you guys the tools that you need to go out there and do what you need to do to help the people in your communities. Because obviously I'm not going to go to Virginia or Oregon or Wisconsin or any of the other states just being one person. But I know if you guys get the tools that you need as healers, it only takes one person to impact many. And I know there was also a question of, well, how do you know? How do you know if you've balanced yourself out? You actually produce a vibe about you. And the only way I know how to describe it is there is a vibe. Have you ever walked into a room and you come into contact with someone and you just feel totally relaxed and at ease and accepted, and you just feel grounded and you feel just loved? And then you can go into another room and you've got it looks like an energy vampire. Someone just sucks the energy out of you, or you can feel someone just their hatred oozing from them. If you balance yourself out and really truly balance yourself, you'll carry yourself a certain way and you will put off a certain vibe to you that other people will pick up on and say, wow, whatever she or he's got, that's what I'm looking for.
And like attracts like. And that's how you manifest everything. You become a magnet for everything wonderful in your life. Sherry, you're just the most beautiful person. I really love you, and thank you for
thank you.
No, because it's like anything. It's like you just follow in your heart. You're following your intuition. It's a bit wild. It's out there. It's out of your comfort zone. And it's like you're fully opening, like that lotus, to just love and serve. And it's really, really beautiful. I'm so happy to have had you on the show. And I just want to encourage everyone, please message Sherry here to get your discount, your $100 discount. And please come, because it'll be super fun. But also, Sherry, before we go, would you just tell people, because we started a little bit to talk about the intuition. And you, like, here you are, you're a doctor of clinical psychology. And here you are getting these really, not that you have to go into, I don't want to pry into your private life, but, behind this, very professional face of you that you are, very credible woman, and a family woman, and everything that you do in your community, which is really a lot as well. Also, you're having this kind of birthing, aren't you? This experience of this, the guidance coming through you that you're actually now listening to and not suppressing anymore. Oh, yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I thought I was losing my mind. I thought, oh, no, the COVID stress, because a lot of our, for a while we went, telehealth and everything. And I can tell you, I've seen people stop bathing and all, so as mental health professionals, we're going through the same stuff as everybody else. And then we're trying to, balance ourselves out and then go and see people. I think I put on like close to 30 pounds, because you absorb people's energy. And then when you're seeing people back to back to back to back, you actually start neglecting your own self-care. So yes, I'm guilty of that. But I thought I was going crazy. I really did. I thought I was going crazy. And, I thought I got really, really sick probably about a year and a half ago. So maybe I came down with the COVID. Who knows? It was when it was first starting. And I thought, oh no, I've developed some sort of I pulled out my DSM-5 and I was trying to diagnose myself. Of course, I didn't meet any other criteria. Then I tried to take my dreams and just analyze them myself. Okay, could this be symbolic? Couldn't find anything. Physically, I was having, waking up in the middle of the night and I felt like energy. The only way I know how to describe it is just energy going down my back and then up, and it would shoot out of my shoulder blades. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I am hot. I went to my gynecologist and I was like, maybe I'm perimenopausal. Maybe this is going on. And she was like, no. How long are you saying you're hot for? I'm like, sometimes it's 3 hours. Sometimes it's 30 minutes. She's like, hot flashes only last for no more than 3 minutes. And I thought, okay. I started feeling like I was having heart palpitations. So then I thought, okay, maybe it's stress or something. I went and had a stress test done, the whole gamut. I had all that stuff done. Nothing was wrong with me. And, so then I was like, okay, let's just simmer down, Sherry. So I started writing this stuff down. And I had to actually force myself. Remember, I come from a family where we go to church. That's what we do. We go to church. You might have a dream here and there. And in my family, we do have dreams. My family, when you talk to them one-on-one, or they'll come to me, I do come from a family lineage where we will have dreams or we'll have things impressed upon us. But you don't talk about those things. You only go to 1 or 2 people to talk about that, and then you just kind of sweep it under the rug and you drive on. So I actually started writing stuff down, and my husband's the only one that will ever know the full story of all these things. And he thought I was losing my mind too initially, but then, his background's different than mine. He said, you know what? Just go ahead and you actually need to start paying attention to some of this. And so that's what I did. I started paying attention to it and then just writing down the dreams. I would just write them down. Sometimes they were symbolic. Most of the times they were just straight up, like I'm talking to you, Tara, just straight up. And I would just wake up and remember them. So I'd write them down the best I could. And it just, for someone like myself, and there are a lot of people out there like myself, to start waking up to something that there's something bigger out there than your 8 to 5 or 9 to 6, it can be kind of scary. Now, I've always known there's something there, but again, keep in mind, I was conditioned to not look at that stuff. Don't look at that because that may not be of God or this or that. No one ever taught me discernment. So when you start having this flood of physical experiences, dreams, synchronicities, I remember driving when I was getting that impression. I'm like, oh gosh, maybe I should do a conference kind of thing. The light workers, light bearers, the light warriors, they're scattered all over the place. You need to unify them, find the leaders and unify them because the leaders are on the ground, blah, 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 right? I said, God, if this is true, I always do this, and this is just something I've always done. I said, show me a rainbow. And it was cloudy that day. The sun was not going anywhere. And I kid you not, right before my car as I'm driving, there's this rainbow. And I'm looking for the sun. Where's the sun? There's no sun because my mind's thinking, okay, sun comes through, reflects in the clouds, you get a rainbow, right? There was no sun. I still don't know. I pulled out my cell phone and I'm snapping pictures, because I had to look later. I was questioning myself. Am I losing touch with reality? Am I hitting, compassion fatigue? Am I hitting that level where it's like, I need to take a break from this? But I looked at my phone and sure enough, there it was, and you could tell clouds everywhere. There was not the sun. It was a cloudy, overcast day. There was no sun. And then yet there's this rainbow. And I've been
Right.
getting rainbows ever since.
Well, though, it's also the divine timing of right when you ask for it, and it's right in front of you, and it's like, duh.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. And I've been getting it ever since. I've been trying, like, as a side note, I'm trying to put stuff together for the veterans, to help the veterans, because here in the States, a lot of times the veterans that I work with, uh, they're usually disappointed, angry at the Veterans Affairs Administration. They feel like they're just getting, pilled on. And pilled on basically means, you're getting prescription pills, but no one's really helping you in here with your trauma. So they say we're just getting pilled on. And so I'm trying to figure out ways to help them, like legitimately help them heal from within. And I went to go talk at a VFW hall recently, and the speaker gets up there and he's like, I don't know if you can see it or anything, but outside there was this big rainbow out there. And I went, oh my goodness. Because again, that was another, I get these wild ideas and I always look for confirmation that, am I doing what you want me to do? Mm-hmm. So I have a rainbow over this conference. So huge leap of faith. I feel like something good will come from this. So I'm bringing the leaders together, and hopefully your tribe, Tara, will come and they'll get to meet you and learn from you and get the tools that they need, so that they can carry on their mission.
We will all learn together. We'll all learn from one another, and we'll all light each other up. That's the thing. Like, nobody has to be doing this alone. This is the age of unity consciousness now. Mm-hmm. There is no more duality. There is no more separation. It means healing the wound of separation, the sacred wound that every single human being suffers from, that wound of separation. It's the healing of that right now, because this is the age of unity, unity consciousness. This is just what's happening. So to come together is exactly what needs to happen, and you're leading the way with that, Sherry, and I really thank you for that, and I really love you for that. And I'm super excited. I'm so excited to be going. So I want everybody that possibly can, that loves my videos, or that loves my book or anything else that I've put out there, or even just discovered it and wants to know more about self-love and just is resonating with this whole International Warriors of Light conference. Not even me, but just the whole thing resonating with Sherry, because Sherry's speaking too. So you get to learn more from Sherry. You've just, everything you've said today is bang on, Sherry. You're an amazing leader yourself. So everybody maybe just resonates with you.
And and the thing is, you never know when you're going to need these tools. Like, I stumbled upon Tara's book, and when she was talking about breathing in consciousness and breathing it out, I've used that example with my trauma clients. I don't call them patients. I call them clients, because clients is, patients kind of, to me, it's indicative like you're sick, and yes, they do, you can label them as that, but I say they're my clients, because we're working together to get them where they want to be. And I've used Tara's book, and I don't think she even knows that, but I've taken that book and said, read this. And one of my clients just recently said, I went and just got that book. I just purchased it. I said, awesome. What are you getting? It resonates with me, because so many times when you go through trauma, you think, who is God? What is conscious? You don't ask consciousness. I mean, a lot of my clients say, who is God? If God's anything like my father or my mother, I want nothing to do with him. When I was being traumatized, I called out to God and he never answered. Did it time out? Every breath you took in was him breathing into you, and you breathing out your pain. He heard you. You were never alone. And when they take those aspects of your book, Tara, it helps. Mm-hmm. So that's just an example of, you don't have to be in the mental health field, so to speak. Mm-hmm. You can be a true healer, because your message of healing is going to reach the people it's supposed to help. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to help.
Yeah. And I definitely really love as well that when I used to do live events, my audiences were full of the healers that were coming, because let's face it, if you don't have a tool of self-love, if you don't have self-love in this day and age, I don't know how people get through it without it, Sherry. I really don't. I don't know, because love is the ultimate tool, right? Love is the ultimate power. And when you know how to connect with that inside of yourself and then apply it to yourself everywhere, for me, that's the foundation of everything. And there's so many other amazing tools. There's so many other important things to learn. So We put that together. We're just going to have the best time ever. So I'm super excited. My dog is scratching at the door. She's like, dinner time.
Yeah.
Sherry, you know what you said just quickly when you talked about that energy that was coming through your body and then coming back up and that energy coming out the back of your shoulder blades. I was like, oops.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I was just assuming. I was like,
I
hot
know what it is. I know totally what it is. I want to show you because I just so happened today to be wearing one of my tops, one of my shirts. I was just in the mood, you know, and I felt like I just needed the extra strength on my heart today. It was like I need to wear my protection wings on my chest, and I thought I am going to make one of these tops for you, Sherry, and I'm going to put wings on the back for your shoulder blades. That's what was happening. It's like your wings are trying to pop out. That's what all that energy was about.
Oh my gosh. Well,
your wings are popping out. So I'm going to make you a shirt with the wings on the back.
Yeah, then hopefully they won't pop out because I'm going to tell you something. I was walking around the house sweating. I had my AC turned down to 50 something. I was blowing the AC breaker 6 or 7 times.
Don't you, with your energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would they say in church when you got wings sprouting out the back of your shirt?
Oh, I don't know what they probably kicked me out. Who knows? But it's just like, what is that?
Anyway, guys, Sherry, is there anything else that you want to say to our viewers before my dog scratches a hole in the door?
The only thing I want to say is really this, the message here tonight was really for you guys. And please consider coming because I can't express how important it is if you feel called to come because there are messages there for you and you actually will be interacting with the speakers. It's not a hi-bye thing. You are going to be interacting with them because it's imperative that you have that one-on-one or small group connection with them to get the tools that you need to fight a good fight. Mm-hmm. And, it isn't even really a fight. If you just go and shine your light, the darkness runs away. It just does. It falls away. But unfortunately, in our society, we have given light always yields to the dark. But I feel like that's what's happened, and a lot of darkness has come onto this world, and a lot of pain and hurt has been inflicted on people. But all you got to do is flick on that light, because the light can pierce through the darkness. It's only because we fell asleep that the darkness overcame. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
No, it's true. And it's exactly true. And people dimming their light is what allowed the darkness to get so big in the first place. Right? So it's time to switch your light back on, everybody. Come to the international.
Even if you're out of your comfort zone, because this is out of my comfort zone. I don't like getting on these things. But the message is so important for you guys. Step out of your comfort zone. Please step out of your comfort zone. And again, I will personally answer your emails that you send me. I'm going to be there, so you'll have a familiar face is what I'm saying.
And lots of hugs. I can't wait for that.
Yes.
I'm so excited, Sherry. You're a complete darling and a total angel. And it's so wonderful for us to have this chat. You're so full of energy and passion. It really is infectious. And if you're in the US or you just want to come to the US and you want to be part of this, use this email address, sherry@bvmhw.com. Sherry will answer you personally, or hopefully you'll probably need an assistant. There's 800 seats available, guys. You can have an online ticket and watch online, or you can attend live, but there's only 800 seats. And considering there's myself and a whole bunch of other speakers, those seats are going to go really fast. Right now, you've got early bird. And when you message Sherry and say that you learned about the conference on my show, and you just say Tara Love, then you will get an extra $100 off, which is super cool. So basically now is the time to go book and grab those seats, and we'll get the ball rolling. And please share this. Please share this with your own tribe. You are a leader, whether you see it or not right now. Share this with your own tribe. Share this with the people you love. Come with your friends. You don't have to come on your own, although you'll find friends when you get there. And just let's have the most amazing time where everybody's lights are lighting up. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you for having me, Tara. I appreciate you.
Total pleasure. Well, and I also appreciate all of you guys for watching today and being part of this. And if you're watching the replay, please, like I said, put in where you come from so we can see, and Because one final thing, Sherry, when you said, well, you know, we won't be going to Wisconsin, and we won't be going to Virginia, but I have a sneaky little secret wish, and it's not a plan yet. It's too soon to call it a plan, but depending on what you guys do, it could be a plan. And that is that definitely myself, and perhaps some of the other speakers and some of the other people that I connect with as well, the other leaders and healers in the US, I'm thinking that after this conference, if there's enough people that want this to happen, that's why you need to let me know where you're from, is that we will come do a tour. I will certainly be there because I've always wanted to do a tour of the US. It's been on my cards. I want to do it. Others may join in as well. So you never know. We may go to Wisconsin. We may go to Virginia. We may go to Portland, Oregon. We may come to your city. So let us know. Put it in the comments where you're from. And especially if you want us to come, you know, I can't say it's a promise. It's just a wish, right? And if enough people are like, yes, come to Oregon or come to Virginia, we're going to go. Yeah. And it's going to be epic. It's going to be so, so epic. So let me know and message Sherry to get your $100 discount on your ticket today and share this with everyone. And we're going to have the best time ever. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So much love. And I'll see you on the inside. Love ya.